Yes.
Perfect. So thank you.
Okay, so I put everything in one slide. So so I'm Hyuna Shin. I'm a math teacher at High Point High School. And my first title is Teachers' Perceptions, Comparison Between Mainstream Students and ESOL Students Distance Learning During the COVID-19 Pandemic at High Point High School. Statement of the problem. The distance learning was not planned, but it just happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our school has 43% of ESOL population, and there is a huge difference in delivering instruction between ESOL and mainstream. However, we were not prepared to provide appropriate instruction during the pandemic. There is a need to reflect and assess delivering methods to improve both distance learning and face-to-face learning, because we still continue to use the same online resources. I didn't develop questions as a final, just this is my interest. Firstly, academic performance. Compare how mainstream students and ESOL students at High Point High School performed differently or similarly. Second, teaching instruction. What are the different challenges in delivering instruction between mainstream and ESOL during the COVID-19 pandemic? As for the improvement, what strategies can we use to support the ESOL population in using the online? ESOL students are students who are using English as a second language, and most ESOL students they stayed in America, mostly year 1, year 2, and I'm focusing on year 1 and year 2. Their language level is beginners or like newcomers. Their technology literacy is also very beginners. So the COVID-19 impacted their learning a lot. So I'd like to know the differences between mainstream students and ESOL students. What are teachers' perceptions? And then they definitely need to reflect themselves what happened. Because now pandemic is almost over, because the death rate is very low. So we are not closing anything. It's like normal. But the teaching method is everything is almost the same. We are using Chromebooks and all the online materials. Even textbooks are all online. I didn't make any hard copies for students, not anymore. So the situation is totally different. So I'd like to know what teachers have, what kind of perceptions they have before and now. The instruction style is totally different. So yeah, that's my proposal, the first one. And then next one, title 2. It's very similar. It's about the same teachers' perceptions about online teaching. My focus is during the COVID-19 pandemic and after the pandemic at High Point High School. So before it was between the differences between mainstream students and ESOL students. Now I'm focusing on during the pandemic and now, okay, after the pandemic. The statement of the problem, the sudden shift to distance learning from face-to-face traditional classroom setting has affected the teachers' perceptions of distance learning. However, teaching methods have been improved because of the online setting. The study will teach us what challenges our teachers had to face in delivering instruction, and how much we could learn by reflecting our teaching methods before and after the pandemic. It is worth preparing for the future distance learning. What were major challenges in delivering instructions during the pandemic? What new strategies or methods did you learn during the time? Teaching preferences or teaching methods after pandemic, online versus face-to-face or both combination. What platforms and programs are you still using after the pandemic? What can you tell the major developments in our teaching and learning? Okay, so that's it. So it's been for a while for me to have finished my master's degree. So I need a lot of help. Yeah, Dr. Ramirez. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Shin.
Yes.
Yun, how do we pronounce it?
Hyuna. Hyuna.
Chona?
Yes.
Chona Shin. Okay.
Thank you.
Ma'am, kindly go back with our title number 1. It really catch my attention, this number 1. Are you planning for what kind of research design, Ma'am Shin?
Because it's perceptions, and I'm thinking of about 10 teachers for qualitative research.
Okay, you want to have this qualitative research. How many respondents are you targeting?
I'm thinking of 10.
Okay,
is it small?
Okay, so that's good. That's good. Okay. 10 respondents is good for our qualitative. And you're going to compare the academic performance of mainstream students and ESOL students. How are you going to differentiate the mainstream and the ESOL?
Because I was the one who had mainstream regular students, non-ESOL students. So their English is perfect. So they have, that's the normal students in regular students. And then ESOL students are there. They cannot make even good sentences, simple sentences.
Okay.
So English literacy is the variable.
Okay, so I think do you have the data on the academic performance of mainstream students and the ESOL students?
Yes.
Okay, so by those data we can see, we can compare this the difference between the students, the mainstream students and the ESOL. And maybe you want to see the challenges that they have experienced and the strategies, so that you can, that's a very good topic, Ma'am, that your title number 1, that's a good topic. So you let us pursue this topic. So it's really good, the mainstream students at the comparison of their academic performance, and I think the best output that you can share with this is the best model, so that the students could able, the ESOL students could able to gain good grades even they are ESOL, di po ba? So I think you can pursue this title number. That's really good, Ma'am. Title number 1. Okay.
Thank you so much. I have a question about theoretical strategies. Do I have to add something about?
Yes, ma'am. I think you have to look for what particular strategies we may use in the ESOL students.
ESOL. Okay, yes. So I will look for it. And also, this is my focus is online teaching. The platform is only, we are not using the Zoom, but the teaching is the same. So everybody is using the computer. We are not making hard copy papers anymore. So yeah, it's a continuous. Everything's continuous. Just we are not opening the Zoom. So teaching strategies. So I have seen a lot of researches about pandemic
Yeah,
But
that's good.
yes, but there's no research at this time during the pandemic and now. So
About
yeah. So pandemic is over, but we have changed a lot of things.
okay. So as we go
Yeah,
along with your
yeah,
research, ma'am, we will see if
yeah,
we can use an experimental research design or a qualitative. Maybe it depends with the variables that we can see from the
yes.
previous studies. Ano po, so as we go along with your study, we can think of the best research design so that we can achieve the main goal of knowing what would be the best thing that you can contribute in order for us to have the ESOL students to learn and to increase their performance. Ano po? Their
So
academic performance.
I have a question. So the product is teachers' perceptions and then data. So teachers, they saw the data, review the data, and then I'm not judging the data, right? Teachers' perceptions. It will be the results and product,
Yes.
right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes po.
Okay, thank you
Definitely.
so much.
Okay, thank
Thank you
you,
so
Ma'am
much.
Chen. Thank you po.
Thank you.
Miss Janet, did you already present it?
I haven't presented yet, but yes, I am ready now.
You're ready? Okay, let me take this back.
Thank you, Miss Anna.
You're welcome. Oh my goodness. I think that's it. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, hi everyone. So I have two research topics that I'm proposing. Just to give you a brief background of myself, I'm currently an education support in Melbourne, Australia, specifically in Gilson College. What is an education support? So we are under what we call a student support officer program, whereas students in secondary schools or even in grade school or primary school, students who are under what we call a funding with disabilities, for example, ADHD, autism, high functioning autism, or what we call slow learners students, they're given funding by the government, and these funding is used to have an extra support. It's like tutoring specifically to those students. So the first one I'm presenting is Ms. Anna, thank you. It's a review of Student Support Officer Program in middle school year levels at Gilson College. I'm currently a middle school student support officer, year 7, 8, and 9. So Gilson College has been largely affected by the pandemic the past 2 academic years, which had a negative outcome to the academic performance of students. This research will examine the implementation of the Student Support Officer Program in year 7, 8, and 9, and what had worked well in the delivering of the SSO services, and what had hindered the program in its effectiveness, and how to improve the program in the future. My questions will be the following. What are the facilitators and barriers to the implementation, specifically the internal or within the school? What are the various ways schools and their communities have used the SSO position? Third, what are the professional support and mentoring needs of the SSOs? How these needs have been addressed, and suggestions about additional ways to meet these needs. And finally, the strengths and weaknesses of the initiative as a whole, including governance, resourcing, and collaboration with a range of agencies and stakeholders. And the second one, since we've been into this COVID-19 pandemic school system, I guess everyone all over the world, we used technology in delivering teaching, the education itself. So with this regards, my second proposed research would be the trends in utilization of educational technology of middle school students at Gilson College. Computer literacy has been a subject of education research ever since personal computers introduced to the classroom, either as teaching aids or as tools for self-study. The COVID pandemic forced the schools to deliver all lessons using a variety of technology. Today, schools realize the importance of computer literacy in schools, and this study will aim to identify the trends in utilization of education technology of middle school students at Gilson College. First question, examine the effectiveness of educational technology on learning in middle school students. Second, positive and negative effects of the use of technology on learning in middle school students. Third, how the school identified the different technology utilized at Gilson College. Next, how often in a class period the teachers utilize technology in their classroom. Fifth, how teachers evaluate the effectiveness of technology in their classroom. And lastly, teachers and students' perspectives on the use of technology in the classroom. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Janet. And can you have our first slide? So a review. What is your plan, Ma'am Janet? Is it a qualitative or a quantitative research?
I'm planning to do the qualitative, but my problem is I don't have enough. I'm not sure if I will have enough respondents if I will do a review. How many respondents do you reckon I will be needing for this research?
If you're going to use the qualitative research design, you may 5 to 20 respondents are enough.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I'll have 5.
Okay, for your qualitative design. It's okay for a review of student support office program. Is it are you part of this student support office program?
Yes po, I'm the year 9 support officer.
What's that? It's grade 9 like that?
Opo, grade 8 and 9.
Okay. So student support officer pro. You're going to review particularly the barriers and the implementation of what particular implementation you are you want to review.
It's the delivery itself in terms of, because we have, for example, in one classroom, we have a list of students, let's say around 5 students. We are specifically helping them in their activity. For instance, if they have a classwork or a seat work, and one student in particular I have was he is diagnosed with autism, and he's given a special provision, it's a revised seat work every time they have like an assignment. So I will help him out, kind of tutor him in a classroom. So I want to find out how the facilitation and the barriers in doing the help for these students is performed, or if it's effective or not.
Okay. So how can you test its effectiveness through their academic performance, or what would be your basis?
Yes, academic performance.
Okay, so
specifically,
you're going to see the effect or the impact of this implementation with their academic performance.
Opo.
Tama ba
yes.
ako?
Yes
okay,
po.
so and this four statement of the problem are really good. You're going to see the various ways, yes, and then and I think the professionals, I think your best output is the number 3, the professional support.
Yes, yes.
I think you just professional support and mentoring needs of the SSO, how these needs have been addressed, suggestions. Okay. So you're trying to see what are the mentoring needs of the SSO and then the strength and weaknesses of the program implementation. Oh, that's good. Ma'am, it's really good. So you're going to pursue this title number 1. I think for me, this is good na. Ano po?
Okay po. Thank you po.
Itong title number 1 mo.
Thank
Okay,
you,
kasi
Doctor.
what's really good there is you are in the position of researching this because you are one of the SSOP, you are one of the student support officer program. So I think that's the best characteristic, or that is the research ethics, ethical consideration in doing a research. You must be included in the program itself. Okay. So
Thank you po.
you. Okay, thank you, Miss Jan.
Thank you. I know we still have Melvin and also myself and Ms. Marcelino, correct? Melvin, is it okay with you if we go with Ms. Marcelino? Or you want to go first? Because
that's fine with me. Okay.
Okay. Let me.
Ma'am Ana, how many are still waiting?
It will be Mr. Flores, Mr. Melvin Flores, and then is Ms. Hazel Marcelino and myself, Dr. Ramirez.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I know you're sick. I know you probably want to go to bed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I really got
I'm sorry. Let me see. I think this is Ms. Marcelino.
You can go, Miss Marcelino. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. And good morning po, Ma'am Rowena. And good evening.
Good morning po.
And good evening, Mr. Flores. Thank you for giving the opportunity for me to show my proposed title. And what slide am I in? Hold on. Please hold on for a moment. Let me find. Okay, there you go. Number 59 slide, Dr. Rowena. Okay, first title. And thank you, Miss Fernandez. Thank you for putting that up. And my first title would be, background, sorry. My background is I'm a mathematics teacher in a high school in Prince George's County in Maryland. So my first title is Mathematical Apprehensions and Performance of Students, of high school students at High Point High School. Now, let me make it bigger. Sorry, I cannot see it. 67. Okay, there you go. Statement of the problem. One of the focuses of schools is on mathematical achievement as a result of mathematics assessments, which shows that there is a decline in mathematics achievement of students. One of the factors that contributes to performance of students in mathematics is the apprehension to understand and comprehend mathematical concepts. This study aims to determine ways on how to increase student academic performance of high school students by looking into the possible strategies to address the effect of student mathematical apprehensions. The study aims to answer the following questions. Number 1, what can be reasons for students' apprehensions in dealing with mathematics courses? Are there differences among male and female students on mathematics achievement and mathematics apprehensions? How can mathematical apprehensions of students be addressed? What teaching strategies can support low-performing students in dealing with mathematical apprehensions in increasing their achievement in mathematics? Title 2, Teaching Mathematics Problem-Solving Strategies, Practices of High School Teachers. Statement of the problem. Critical thinking is important in math, And part of critical thinking and analysis is the ability to successfully interpret and solve word problems. As such, mathematical pedagogies in teaching aim to develop mathematical thinking and mathematical problem solving. Mathematics standardized assessment results show the decline of a student's mathematics achievement. The results of this study may help provide educators with insights on how to support students to facilitate student achievement in mathematics. Questions. Number 1, what teaching practices do teachers use in teaching mathematical problem solving to increase mathematical achievement? Number 2, what mathematics problem solving strategies are used to address the errors that students do in solving math problems? How effective are mathematics problem solving strategies in increasing the student achievement of students in math? And what rubrics can be used to guide mathematical problem solving of students? So these are the 2 proposed titles for study, Dr. Ramirez.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. It's
Hello.
good evening na po dyan. So, ayan. Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry. Sorry po for interruption.
No problem.
Medyo lang, sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
No
It's
problem.
okay.
Just wait for a while.
Go ahead.
Hello, Ma'am Hazel. May I see your kindly go back with your PowerPoint presentation, title number 1. So actually, your 2 titles are good enough for me. Which we will just see what would be your best choice for this 2 topics. But I really impressed with these 2 topics. Ano po? Mathematical apprehension and performance of high school students at High Point. At High Point High School, this is really good. So because you want to see the reasons and the effect of the performance of the students and their mathematical apprehensions. This is really a good title of your research. And then may I see the statement of the problem of this title. So reasons. So you want also to see the difference of this achievement of these 2. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And then how to address this mathematical apprehension and the teaching strategy. This is really good. So I think this title number 1 with the statement of the problem, and we will just think of what would be your best output. Okay, that is your great contribution after you have learned what are the reasons, what are the strategies that we can use in order to develop a good academic performance and to avoid these mathematical apprehensions among our students. Okay. So in terms of title number 2, let us see, ma'am, the title number 2. Teaching mathematics problem solving strategies. This is really good because many students have problem really in mathematics. So in learning mathematics, this is one of the one of the challenges of our students learning mathematics, especially the solving problem. So this is really good that you will see what would be the strategy in teaching mathematics problem solving and how we can help students to learn this mathematics problem solving strategy. Okay, so may I see the statement of the problem? So, okay, I think the thing that we will just focus in is your output for this two problem, Ma'am Hazel. We will just see to it what would be our best output, and we can think of the best as we go along with your research, with your final, with your dissertation. We can see what would be the best output, and let us remember always that you are in a doctoral degree, so you're going to have a dissertation output, which is in PCU. So a model is advised to the output for the ADD students. Ano po, Ma'am Hazel? So
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. Okay, thank you, Ma'am Hazel.
Thank you din po. Ma'am, when you say model like
maybe a teaching mathematics model, like that. So as we go along, I will give you some example of models as we go along with our discussion. And don't worry, for this is your first subject in research, and you have also dissertation writing subject. And with that subject, the PCU will teach you how this models goes and what would be the points to remember, what are the things to remember in making a model as the output of our study. Okay, thank you, Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Get well soon, ma'am. And
yes,
thank you very much for projecting my proposal, Ms. Fernandez. And thank you, Mr. Melvin, for letting me go.
Thank you, Ms. Quezon.
No problem.
All yours, Mr. Flores.
Oh, okay. All right. Good evening, Dr. Ramirez, and good evening also to all my classmates. All right, here are the proposed titles that I actually created. Actually, the basis of all these titles is that based on the experiences that I have as a science coach and as a facilitator of professional development, especially in the making sense of science. So I actually developed this title. So the first title, titled Teacher Empowerment and Student Achievement in Selected High Schools of Lawag City Division. So I actually choose one school division in the Philippines, which I actually intended to gather data if ever this will materialize. So here's the statement of the problem. There is indeterminate and inconclusive evidence in the literature as to whether teacher empowerment directly affects student achievement. There are findings from some extensive research that show a correlation between teacher empowerment and student achievement, while others' findings reveal no correlation at all. So suppose teachers feel empowered in their job, energetically involved in decision-making, well respected by their peers and the community, and are allowed to develop professionally, believing they impact the work environment, they become more effective in their job, thereby impacting their students' achievement. Furthermore, since the correlation between teacher empowerment and student achievement is unclear, further research is necessary or critical. teachers nowadays are being held accountable for student achievement, especially in this age of accountability. However, it should be clear how empowered teachers are in their schools and how it affects student achievement. If more studies prove a positive correlation between teacher empowerment and student achievement, school leaders should focus on implementing and evaluating the 6 dimensions of teacher empowerment. Actually, these 6 dimensions of teacher empowerment are part of the data gathering instrument, which would be a questionnaire that actually is given to the teacher and will gather data about how empowered they are. This study therefore aimed to determine the relationship between teacher empowerment and the student achievement in selected high schools in the division of Lawag City. And the overarching question was, what is the relationship between teacher empowerment and student achievement in selected high schools of the division of Lawag City? And then to guide the study, the researcher responded to the following sub-questions. To what extent are high school teachers of selected schools in the division of Lawag City feel empowered as measured by the 6 sub-scales of the school participant empowerment scale, which involves decision-making, professional growth, status, self-efficacy, autonomy, and impact. That's my first proposed title. And the second, improving student achievement in science through professional learning communities. Actually, I'm wondering if I can use professional learning communities or professional development instead, because if I'm going to gather this data in the Philippines, then I would probably be using the professional development as based on my experience, they probably do not have I don't know if professional learning communities are being used in there, but I know that professional developments are being done or implemented. So here's the background of my study. Implementing professional learning communities is the most promising strategy for improving and sustaining student achievement, according to DuFour 2007. Like many schools, there have been arguments and hesitations with the new teaching and learning initiatives. In traditional schools, they have been operating with teachers in isolation, where a single individual is responsible for teaching a group of students with less influence from their colleagues. The shift to a culture of meaningful collaboration is necessary for implementing PLCs. It is the most critical factor for sustaining successful school improvement and the overall effectiveness of the school. Research studies provide data on the effectiveness of PLCs connected to adequate staff development, implementation of the PLCs, and establishment of necessary support systems. However, there needs to be more research regarding how teachers perceive their level of personal skills in working collaboratively and focusing on academic results linked to students' achievement. Because sometimes we're looking at the PLCs as for the teachers helping other teachers or working collaboratively to improve their professional practice. But in turn, if the teachers are actually inclined in their pedagogical skills, then student achievement will follow. So there need to be more research in understanding the relationship between teachers' perceptions of their personal skill levels in implementing professional learning communities and its overall effectiveness in increasing student achievement. These are the questions. So the overarching questions would be, do educators' perceptions of their skill level in working collaboratively and focusing on academic results while implementing a professional learning community affect student achievement? Here are the sub-questions that derive from the main overarching research question. How do educators perceive their skill level in assuring that all students learn at high levels? How do educators perceive their professional learning team's skill level in creating a culture of collaboration? And how do educators perceive their professional learning team's skill level in focusing on academic results? What percentage of professional learning teams meet their SMART goals? Have student achievement scores increased while working within professional learning communities? Is there a relationship between educator perceptions of professional learning communities and student achievement? Here are my proposed titles. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sir Melvin. May I see your recital number 1?
This one.
Title number 1. Actually, this is teacher empowerment in student achievement. How many are your respondents in Lawag City Division?
Yeah, I will be focusing on maybe at least 10 schools. So it will be
So
10 schools with maybe 20 or more respondents in it.
Okay, I think you can have a quantitative research design for this because of teacher empowerment.
Yes,
so I think you may use more than 10 schools, sir, in the division of Lawag City.
Okay,
You
that's
may use
fine.
more than, yes, in student achievement. So in student achievement, you just get the data, the academic performance of the student, which pertains to student achievement. And it's really good that we can see how are we going to correlate what is the impact of the teacher empowerment in the student achievement. And that's really a good topic. That's really a good research that we can see how really the empowered teacher affect the achievement of the students. It's really good to see if what part of student learning affect this empowered teacher. Okay, so so I think we can read some of the related research, related literature to see what are the variables that we can see that you can use. You have to focus on the teacher empowerment variables.
Yes,
Teacher empowerment theories, in which you can see some of the variables that we can use in this kind of study so that you can have the basis or the foundation of your research. The teacher empowerment theories, you can see different variables that we can use, not only decision making, not only the professional growth, not only this this 7, I think 7 nga, ano?
Okay,
You can search more teacher
yes.
empowerment variables. And in the student achievement, you can also you can also see some of the variables, and it's really good to study this relationship, these two. And I think it is not a problem with regard to respondents, because you will be used respondents from here in the Philippines in this particular situation. In the Philippines, it's not difficult for us to have these respondents. Unlike in the United States, unlike there, it's really difficult to have respondents because in that particular area, you followed different state SOP, standard operating procedure, in requesting for respondents. Well, here in the Philippines, we just ask for the assistance of our supervisor, of our co-teachers, and then we will just write to our division office superintendent, and they will allow researchers to conduct a research in any schools that you are requesting. So I think, Sir Melvin, I go with your title number 1. It's really good for this study.
Okay, and I'll just add some variables, right? Yeah.
Yes, po. You have to research for some variables.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Sir Melvin.
Thank you, Dr. Ramirez. So it's only me now. Let me go back to my presentation, and we will leave you so you can rest. Let me go back here. Here is the first one. Well, thank you so much for your patience, Dr. Ramirez. Both of the problems that I'm going to present to you are very important for me. I am a principal of an elementary campus here in Dallas, Texas. The campus goes from pre-K 3 years old to 5th grade. Both of the topics are concerns that I have seen and issues that I have seen in my campus. So I'm very interested in finding more about this and researching more about this. So the first one is the effectiveness of a student's experience survey and the impact on teacher evaluation, a study on the student's experience results in a high-performing teacher classrooms. This topic is, well, I'm going to give you a little background. We have a very high-performing teachers that the academic results on state assessments and district assessments are high. The students are performing really high on those classrooms for math and for reading. However, their evaluation from the student experience is low. So I'm very curious about that relationship. So this is a little background also that I found. So gaining insights into classroom settings and facilitating improvements in teaching practices are challenging in our current educational context. On one hand, the schools are relying on student perception surveys to make increasingly important decisions, including those about teacher evaluation. And at the other hand, the quality of measures to assess classrooms and teaching varies widely. In response, there is a group called Panorama, and they developed a Panorama student survey as the first major survey instrument, which is used by Dallas Independent School District to measure students' experience as part of teachers' evaluation. So that's the survey that we use to evaluate teachers on how the students feel in the classroom. This research aims to gather information on the current version of the Panorama Student Survey to find the impact and connection between the evaluation of a high-performing teacher's classroom and the survey's 6 scales, which are pedagogical effectiveness, teacher-student relationships, classroom climate, rigorous expectations, and engagement. These are the, specifically we will seek answers to the following questions. What is the connection of a high-performing teacher and the low results in the Panorama Student Survey experience? Are the students' attitudes and behaviors and overall experiences predicted by teaching practices that include teachers' emotional support and classroom organization? Why teachers who are effective at improving test scores often are not equally effective at improving students' attitudes, behaviors, and overall experience? So this is my first topic. And the second topic is also part of what I'm seeing in my campus, developing teacher capacity, integrating social emotional learning at school through intentional teaching practices and relationship-centered learning environment. A lot of us have been talking about COVID-19, and the social emotional learning is one of the biggest issues that we find right now. We know, and not only students, but also adults, we were impacted emotionally and socially by COVID-19, and we're still living all those issues. So many schools use social emotional learning, which is the SEL programs, to boost the students' skills. Yet research shows that these programs can be difficult to implement and don't always meet the students' needs. Developing teacher capacity into integrating social emotional learning at school depends largely on teachers. Mostly teachers implement specific programs, but they have difficulties in incorporating SEL into the regular curriculum. Specifically, I want to seek answers to these questions. How can the conceptual model of sustainable integration of SELs be implemented into everyday teaching practices in every subject? How can SEL be framed around a developmental model designed to target a specific age-appropriate skills? What approach can increase the feasibility of SEL implementation and school-wide consistency? How can teachers be encouraged to implement and adapt strategies that meet their students' needs and reflect their experiences to SEL is more effective? And that's what I have, Dr. Ramirez.
Okay. Yes, Ma'am Ana, kindly go back with your PowerPoint presentation from the top.
Yes.
I will see your title number 1. So the effectiveness of students' experience survey and impact on teacher evaluation. I study on the students' experience result in a high-performing teacher classroom. So I think, may I see your statement of the problem?
Yes, ma'am.
So this problem is not as specific as what we are wanting to do. Ano po? This one. So may I look for our title
Yes.
number 2?
Yes.
The title number 2, ma'am. This is what I want to go for. Developing teacher capacity, integrating social, economic, emotional learning. So this is the 2 important things that you must have your research on the variables. Okay, the teacher capacity and the social emotional learning. Okay, so meaning to say you will focus on how the capacity of the teacher, okay, affect the social emotional learning of the students. Who is your particular participants?
So I actually want to do it all the way from pre-K to 5th grade teachers and how that affects, because we do see a lot of issues, emotional issues in all grade levels.
Okay, so you want to see the social emotional issues of the learners.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is it qualitative or quantitative?
I wanted to do it qualitative.
For you have how many respondents?
So I have 30 teachers, and I wanted to I mean, they are willing to participate.
How many, ma'am? How many?
30.
30. So I think 30 is good for quantitative.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Yes, ma'am. It's easier. I want to advise with you, Ma'am Anna, that since you have 30 respondents, you can use quantitative. It is much easier to conduct quantitative research as long as you have an ideal number of respondents. So, and I want you to pursue this social emotional learning of your learners through the perceptions of your students. Okay, so ma'am, kindly have more variables to study, more variables to research for social emotional learning of students, and how this teacher capacity, how the teacher's capacity help in social emotional learning stability of our students. Okay, so I think this intentional teaching practices and relationship-centered learning environment, we will just see it in your statement of the problem.
Yes.
Ano po? So may I see, ma'am, your statement of the problem? They have the model itself?
So we have a model that we're using, but it's mostly is very limited for what I see, because the effect is not there.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think you better look for some related studies and literature about this social emotional learning. Okay. And you can see more of these variables that we can use in your study, since you are pursuing quantitative research. And I think I can help you once you have pursued this in your dissertation writing, because I have a lot of researches in which I can see that there are some variables in social emotional learning.
Perfect, Dr. Ramirez. Thank you so much.
Yes, last year, I think last year we have already that social emotional learning. So I can help you in your dissertation writing po, Ma'am Anna.
Thank you, Dr. Ramirez.
So you will just focus on that topic. Okay, ma'am?
Okay, perfect, Dr. Ramirez. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. So thank you for listening, everyone. Sorry for this kind of mentoring. I can't give you more learnings because I really felt bad for this morning, but I think for our next session, I can give you much more things about research. Ano po? So thank you for your time. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you. And
Ruben.
all right,
Even
thank
if you're sick,
you.
you spend your time with us.
Yes.
Like, we really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Ma'am Mary Ann. Okay, so as what I have told you, you can chat me during in your most convenient time, and I hope you can learn something about our session for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And
Bye.
Ma'am Rowena,
Yes,
our
po.
presentation po, I posted it in the Google, in our Blue Book News po. So you can easily access that, and then we have all the activities that we are doing in our class po for the record.
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Mary Ann.
Thank you
so
po.
much. Okay.
And have a good day po.
Dr.
you.
Rowena, I
you.
have a question.
Yes,
What is
po.
the next assignment that we need to do?
No more assignment for the next meeting because I'll be the one. I'll be the one to discuss many about research.
Dr.
I'll do
Rowena,
it. Yes,
last
po.
question. My last question, but I don't know my classmate. But are we going to start the chapter 1, 2, and 3 po? Because I remember that you gave us like 2 requirements. One is this the research title and the SOP, and then you mentioned the chapter 1, 2, and 3. Are we going to do that po? Because our class will end December 10 po, I believe.
No, ma'am. You can
We
pursue that during your dissertation writing.
Oh, wow.
So we are done na po.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
the feedback.
yes, that's your main output, and I'll be the one to discuss with the next meeting that we're going to have. I'll be the one.
Ma'am, Merry Christmas.
Thank you po.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Merry
so
Christmas.
much.
You know what?
God.
I'm so impressed with you because you really have a very good output. You know, I was an advisor of a U.S. Students, unified students, and I got surprised for they do not know how to make the statement of the problem and the title. Sabi ko, oh my God. They're about to propose a title in a panel, then they do not know how to give their statement of the problem, their title. But in your group, I'm so amazed that you can do it. Thank you so much. You're really good. Imagine
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
It's only one session that I have discussed with you about research. That's why in this last session, I'll be the one to discuss because you are really good enough for your statement of the problem and presentation of your title. Congratulations in advance, my dear students.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you po, Dr.
Ramirez.
Ramiro.
Thank you.
I hope you will
Thank
be
you
our
so
advisors.
much.